How are you finding? I mean, there's lots of guys in the rotation right now. How are you finding your own rhythm with the new team?
Just the biggest thing is also remembering. It's hard to remember when you're in it and you're playing and you've been, training and doing it. We've only played 12 games, 13 games, whatever it is, and like there's a lot of stuff still to be figured out. But at the same time, it's just about playing hard when you're in there and trying to get an understanding of every part of the system, every part of guys that you play with, attributes and strengths, so you can, mold into any situation. And that's what I'm just trying to do right now. I think the biggest thing is I kind of got a little passive in just shooting threes, so when guys were kind of like sticking to me, I wasn't able to get threes up. I wasn't really being aggressive in any other types of ways. The last couple of games, I've tried to just kind of be more assertive. And then last game especially, like put the ball on the floor a little bit more just to kind of like give a balance because everything's so hot right now the way people are guarding me.
How do things change for you when you get those few minutes with Kyle and or DeMar, or you're in the bench line and you're more of a primary threat, maybe?
I think being with the first unit with those guys is more about creating space for them and playing in those spaces in the gaps and making myself available to be able to use that part of my game to help them also and they help me. Yeah. In the second group, it's a little bit more movement, understanding you gotta be, not gotta be, but there's spaces to be more aggressive and kind of step forward a little bit more with the younger guys. And it's not so much about me scoring, but it's a confidence that I try to carry to let it rub off, to make everybody have that energy. Like every game from the tip, if you watch, when the jump ball's going on, we go down the sideline, I slap everybody's hand and tell them we the best bench in the league. Like, and they got to believe that. And I believe it, and I think they believe it too, and they starting to understand it. We have a whole five that can come off that bench and really affect the game. There's really 6 of us, because Pascal and OG have been interchangeable, so we have 6 guys sitting over there that can change the game, and that's what we have to carry. It's a threat. It's a thing. Like, we want people to have to come play us and understand that just because DeMar and Kyle and Serge and JV sit down don't mean that they got a chance to change the game.
What do you think of OG last night when he stepped in for Norm, like through those last 3 quarters?
He's doing a great job. He gets a lot of deflections, man. Yeah. Like, he's active, he's got great hands, length, because I think it's deceptive length too, because he doesn't carry himself big, but when he's down in the stands and he's open, you see how long and athletic he is. And he's staying within himself, which is the biggest thing. Understanding, how to play with those guys. He doesn't really play with those guys extended minutes like that. He's been getting short stints with us and them, kind of back and forth. So, but I think he's doing a great job of just playing hard and playing to his strengths.
He didn't really. I mean, I guess the inclination going in would be, it's like, okay, now I'm playing with the ones. I gotta kind of back off a bit and let them run the show. But I mean, it was probably 2 or 3 minutes in, and he made that baseline cut. Kyle found it.
I think the thing that helps though is his strengths don't take away from their strengths. Yeah. He's good off the ball. He makes plays. He uses his athleticism and his length is a big part of the plays he makes. His cutting and his getting his hands on deflections and getting out and running. So I think he's able to be almost like even more of a threat in that situation, because they kind of like have to go help, or they kind of, I don't want to say forget about him. And like the defense is rotated away from him, and he's able to play within space and pick and choose what he wants to do. It's almost similar to like if I was put in there, then my strength of shooting goes to a higher level, because now you have to pick and choose. So now his activity is something they have to pick and choose if they want to let him hurt them by offensive rebounds or whatever it may be, or go try to stop DeMar and Kyle.
When you're with DeMar and Kyle, like, how much more space do you have? Like, I mean, I know that
just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit. I've taken it as a sign of respect. This year has been probably the most I felt like there's been a target on my back for it, just like the activity with guys and the attention to the details of everything we're doing. And every play, you hear other teams trying to scream it from the bench, trying to sniff it out. So it's just about just continuing to make reads and continuing to move. When we get in a half court, not kind of like letting them bury and kind of just stay with me. Making them, even if it's just being a threat by moving to take somebody's help away where DeLon can get to the basket, where Freddie can get to the basket. It's understanding that it's not always going to be actually scoring and shooting the ball that's going to make the difference. And I understand that. So that's what I'm trying to make sure I do the most when I'm not scoring the ball.